you, Daniela, for joining us here on Business Minds. And we want to ask you, the first question would be, how long have you been in Naples? And what business or businesses do you own?
Okay, I've been in Naples for 28 years now. Pretty much an original.
28 years?
Yeah, I grew up here. And businesses, I own, well, my husband and I, a couple restaurants. We have a food truck, a manufacturing company. That's something that's kicking off. And we're working on something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the restaurants?
Martin Fierro, which has been in town for 20 years now. And then Oasis is our new one since March. And that we are partnered with our business partner. He owns Tropical Smoothie in Ave.
Okay.
So we both...
Is Oasis in Naples or is it in...
It's in Ave Maria.
Ave Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Martin Fierro is on...
Naples.
In Naples, Pine...
Livingston and Pine Ridge.
Livingston and Pine Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
And the manufacturing company, is that a new company?
It's been about a year now.
Okay.
So we have a co-packer in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And soon next year in the fall, we are launching nationally with a big food provider. I can't mention the name.
Okay.
But we're really excited about that.
Okay, good. And you've been here 28 years, so what brought you to Naples?
My mom and dad.
Your family was here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they have a business before?
Mm-mm.
Did you just got to Naples and
just immigrated here and worked hard from the ground up?
That's a long time. Like, you've definitely seen the change, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. There was like nothing.
Right.
It was like the estates.
Right.
Were you guys the owners? Because I think Martin Fierro, there used to be a restaurant down in
Radio Road?
Yeah.
Yep. My husband opened it when he was 23.
He was 23 when he opened it?
Mm-hmm. He had a butcher shop first. And then there was an Argentinian, Uruguayan butcher there and taught him the culture and everything. And so he decided to open right next to the butcher shop, his restaurant.
Okay. And so prior to opening up the restaurant, he was working in the butcher shop? In
the butcher shop. And his family, his mom owned a restaurant in Miami. So he grew up in the business.
Industry?
Yeah.
Okay. And so he was 23. And were you guys together?
No. I was 18 when I started with him, so he was 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you see yourself in the food industry?
I did not. I married into it and learned, my way through it. And
what were you doing prior to the food industry?
Well, I was just graduated from high school.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So from high school, you were already into the food industry?
I started dating him.
Okay.
And then, just fell into it.
Yeah. Like you just started working in the business and okay.
Yeah.
And what are your overall thoughts on the food industry? Because it's very tough industry.
It's tough. It really is tough, especially the restaurant business. Dealing with customers and employees, it's not easy. People think it's easy. It's not.
Right. And employees right now is hard for every industry, but I think especially from COVID, it's hard to find quality employees, right?
Yeah, and we've been lucky to have employees that stay with us for a long time. So,
What do you think that goes to having employees stay? Is the culture of the business, right? Or
it's definitely the culture and how you treat them. Mm-hmm. To us, they're like family.
Right.
Right.
So now, why the manufacturing? Why from the food industry to the manufacturing? Is it
It's food related, right?
It's food.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's our empanadas.
Okay.
And we didn't think of manufacturing them. But a close friend of ours, he said, hey, listen, I think you guys should sell these. These would be really good. And so he's worked with this big company for years. And he's my broker, and he's introduced us, and we started doing it locally, and we saw, like, for example, we were selling them at the pier a lot. That was like one of our top customers.
Okay.
Loudermilk Park, and then some local restaurants and country clubs. But we presented it to this big company, and they accepted it, and they loved it.
Right.
And they're having us create, you know, other products, other lines. So yeah,
that's really cool.
It just
and these are
opportunity.
these are the same empanadas you can find at Martin Fierro.
Right.
Okay.
And at Oasis and the food truck.
Oh, and at Oasis also. So what is the concept? It's a lounge, Oasis.
It is. It's more modern, like Miami style. You know, you have the greenery, and
it's a restaurant because at night it turns to like a lounge.
Right. So at night, right now we're doing like comedy club. We do different events. We have an upcoming event, which is Carnival Night, which is these girls that, you know, do circus freak stuff. It's like fire show and poi, which I just learned what that was.
I was gonna say, I don't know what that is.
I think it's like these balls and chains that they.
Do they light the ends on fire?
They do.
Oh, I've seen people like that on the beach.
Yeah.
And they do it inside?
Inside.
And this is in Ave Maria, so is this like the place to go? Because you guys are kind of pushing
We're pushing the limit out
there.
there.
So it's like, and is it open every day?
Yes, every day.
Yeah. Till
what days do you have those shows?
Yeah.
Usually in the weekends. Yeah.
Okay. Is it open late?
In Ave Maria right now, we only open in the weekend till 10.
Okay.
The bar, we allow them, if there's people there, they can stay till 11. But we do have nightclub nights.
Okay.
Because there's so many people that live out there, and they don't want to drive into town, so we try to bring all these things there, close by.
Are you the only one doing that right now?
Yes.
For the most part? Yeah.
For the most part.
Wow.
What are the hours for the nights?
We started from 9 till 1 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we stretch it.
Yeah, I know that Ave Maria is a little seasonal when it comes to like the students, right? Is that your? Where you're trying to?
It's not really our
demo
audience that we're trying to get, but it's everybody goes there.
Right.
Yeah, it has grown a lot.
We have to go.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I want to go now.
Yeah.
Have those empanadas.
That's That's so different for Ave.
It is. Yeah. It's very different.
That's really cool. And it gets packed?
It does.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Swing by. Yeah. For sure.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there now. I mean, even though it's still like smaller than Naples, I mean, I can't even imagine how big it's getting.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do you think there's, for the amount of people that's in Ave, the amount of business that's there, it's perfect right now? Or you think that as they keep opening locations, it's going to...
We still need more. What we have is good. We have like clothes boutique. There's just a new indoor kids play area that they just opened. I mean, we have a variety, but I think
we need some more.
We need more. Yeah.
Arthur's, they help a lot, right, when it comes to other businesses, because they bring so many maybe employees.
Yes, they have a lot of people that live in Ave work for Arthur's.
That's great.
So you've had Martin Fierro for 20 years, you and your husband. That's awesome because the food industry, just number-wise, I think it's like, I don't know, first 3 years, 90% of business is closed, 10 years, break even. So 20 years, what's like the biggest lesson you would say from the food industry if somebody was to ask you for advice regarding opening up the business, or like just things to know before maybe going into that venture, because it's a tough industry to be in?
I say just do it. I'm the risk taker. My husband's more of the I don't know, this and that. I'm just like, just do it and learn along the way. It's not easy.
So you'd recommend learn along the way, would you say do your homework prior to opening, or just no, you know what, just go for it and learn as you go?
You can do your homework prior to it, but it's never the same until you're really in it.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem, right? That it's the type of industry that you really have to go through a lot of things in order for you to understand what they're telling you.
Right.
If I tell you, oh, don't go this way because this is going to happen, you're probably going to still go that way because you're learning, right? Mm-hmm. And there's so many things to learn. But yeah, I mean, that was a good question when it comes to like starting a business. What do you think? If you had to start all over again, what do you think are the 3 main things that you will do different?
That I would do.
Or different. A couple of things that you would do.
Well, almost that with the knowledge that you have from Martin Fierro and opening up Oasis, it's like now you guys, right? I would assume that now it's somewhat easier, or you already can anticipate like, I don't know, little things like hurdles or season. I know you're in Ave Maria, or cash flow and things like that. All of that knowledge that you guys gained, is that something that gets put into the next ventures that you guys do?
Right. So with this new venture, just really know your numbers. The numbers is the biggest thing, because in the restaurant business, you know, you have so much that you make out of profit for each item. So like with this new venture, our business partner, he's really into numbers. So like he's like, nope, this doesn't work. Right. This works. We got to take it out, and like right away, you know.
Right.
So numbers is a big thing.
Mm-hmm. And is location a very big thing in the food industry? Or is it one of those things like if the product is great, people will find it?
Right. I believe in both.
Okay.
So obviously locations majority of the time is great, mm-hmm. but also the product. Like our locations were always hidden. Like the first restaurant, mm-hmm. It was, nobody knew what it was.
Right. And
we would get people from Port Royal and stuff like that, and they're like, they would tell their family or friends, just don't look around, just walk right into the store, and I promise you'll love it. And they would, and they would show up. Yeah, because it wasn't in the best area. Mm-hmm. And here we're hidden in the plaza.
But it was so worth it.
It was great.
It was great.
I remember us going like back in the days,
to the first location.
Yeah. To the first location, yeah.
Where was it? It was in.
I don't even know. I don't even
remember.
I don't
on Radio, where there's the Circle K gas station in front of the trailer homes.
Is that by Lago Apartments?
Santa Barbara?
Between Santa Barbara and Livingston.
It's like farther down.
Oh, further down. Okay.
Yeah,
between Santa Barbara and Livingston.
The trailer homes are, like as you start to go down that way.
No.
All the little trailer communities.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Well, it was far.
We passed it on the way to Nazir's, like.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's like that area.
Okay.
Heading that way.
So, yeah. What are the plans? Do you have plans to open in a location when it comes to Martin Fierro, or?
No, we just plan to have it there, and you know, if the empanada thing kicks off, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the floor when you guys did the epoxy.
We took that out.
You took it out?
Oh, yeah, it didn't last.
Oh, really?
It didn't last.
Like the material?
Yeah. Because I guess if we would have done it throughout the whole restaurant, it would have lasted. But since it was the regular floor from the kitchen and the restaurant, water would get under it, and then it started lifting up.
Oh. It was really nice though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it gray or blue?
It was like a grayish.
Gray white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the food truck? What do you think? How do you see that side of your business?
The food truck, it was a blessing in disguise for when COVID hit. Because our friend from Parmesan Pete's, I don't know if you know Parmesan Pete's. Yeah. It was his food truck, and he wasn't using it because he had just opened the pizza place. Mm-hmm. And we said, hey, can we, borrow your food truck to take it to Ave Maria to serve over there and make some money because we were closed. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And then he offered us the food truck, and we gave him an offer, and he accepted it. And, we couldn't pass it because it was a really good offer.
Right.
and we've just been using it since. And it's great if you go to, you know, good communities. And now we've gotten to the point that we can say, yes, we'll go here. No, we won't go here, because we know
like what
works, what community.
What's like worth it
to
go. Yeah. Well, is the food truck, is it an industry where, I don't know why I think, okay, you get a food truck, you can park anywhere. You can't do that, right?
No.
It is limited.
It is. Yeah. It's very limited.
And have you ever, like, how is it so limited? People would just call, or you just get stopped or something, like if you park up in a busy plaza?
I don't know, but I know you have to have some sort of permit.
Got it. Okay.
To park there.
Okay. So the best route, communities?
Communities, yeah.
Are you guys doing just local right now, the food truck? Or do you travel?
We travel to like Fort Myers, but right now we limit it to either really good communities that we know will work, or wedding caterings. Okay. We take it.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Because we cook on the spot and stuff.
Right. And you have that empanadas?
Yes.
What made you like decide on opening a different concept in Ave instead of like Martin? Maybe there, or it was like a partnership thing, or
it was a partnership thing, and originally it wasn't going to be a restaurant. It was going to be something else. I don't remember what it was, but then my husband's like, no, we should open the restaurant, and then I wanted something like that, you know.
Yeah.
How many employees right now do you guys have under you?
Between both?
Yeah. And the food truck.
Well, the food truck, it's my husband mostly and one more. Over 25.
Okay. Wow. And what's like future goals for you guys? Is it keep on expanding, or maybe go into a different industry? Do you have anything in mind?
I think staying in the same industry. My husband loves it, and with the manufacturing, I think it's going to go really good. And then in the new business, we're trying to do something for our kids for when they get a little bit, maybe 10, 12, 14, 15, they can run it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Oasis?
No, this other business.
Another business.
The secret.
That is not in the food industry. Yeah.
It's not in the food industry.
So when are we gonna know about that one?
I don't know.
Well, we know it's not in the food industry, so that's
so it makes us wanna know
exciting.
more about it.
Dun, dun. Yeah.
Is it plans to open like next year, or
yes?
Not this year.
No.
Okay. Okay, and
well, next year is in 3 months.
you guys, you both operate the business, right? Like you're there all the time.
Yeah, full time.
Have you had any issues on, like, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but like, have you had any issues with any management, or maybe finding the right team to delegate? Do you think delegating is a huge thing when it comes to the restaurant business, finding the right people, or finding that, because there's 2 locations now, and every time you open a location, it takes a lot of time, right? And it takes a lot of, so how will you say you're handling that?
So we had a general manager in Martin Fierro, and we took her to Oasis because that's a bigger animal. So she takes care of that. Martin Fierro's small, so, you know, between my husband and I and staff that's been working there, you know, we work as a team, and it's easier to manage.
Okay.
Oasis is bigger?
It is.
It's a lot bigger? Wow. And what would you say is something, if someone wants to get into business in general, what advice would you give them?
Business, any business?
Any business.
I say risk it, because you never know if it's going to flourish or not until you do it. Right. You know?
What if they say, well, it's a way bigger risk than a 9 to 5? Do you think that people are risking no matter what. You know, like if you're even in if you're in a 9 to 5 or just working somewhere else, it's still a risk because you don't know if
they might close.
Yeah, they might close,
Right.
or management changes, or ownership changes. So,
like, what's your view on that?
My view,
because you've been in business since you were out of high school, pretty much, right?
yes, somewhat. I mean, I worked at Physicians Regional for 5 years,
Okay.
and so I got pregnant, and I decided to stay home with the kids. But yeah, I mean, 9 to 5, it's just not my thing anymore. I love the freedom of doing whatever I want when I want, my own schedule. Like you guys mentioned, 9 to 5s, the business could close,
Right.
and you lose, you know.
It's
your
still
income.
risky.
It's still risky no matter what.
And your husband's been doing it since he was 23 in business. So, and how old is he now, if you don't mind me asking?
40. He's
He's gonna be
going to
like-
be 43.
35.
Wait until you get home.
Okay, so yeah, so he's been doing it for a long time. So, would you say you're always working when you're in business? Like, yes, you have freedom, but it's almost like you're always on, you know? Like you
I
never,
am. I mean, you're always working,
right.
you know, but you have that freedom.
It just feels like you don't shut off sometimes, right?
And you got to control that. My husband and I have been working on that. Like, okay, we're going to put 2 days worth of work from this time to this time and get as much done.
Right.
And then after a certain time, you know, it's family time.
Right.
You know, you got to make that time.
Right. What does your schedule look like from like a typical day from the moment you wake up to, you know, your end of the day? Is it wake up, family, business, or do you have some type of routine that you are already accustomed to that you do now?
So recently, I would say like a month, we've been trying to change our schedule. So in the mornings, we wake up really early,
Yeah.
like 4 in the morning.
Okay.
We go to the gym,
Wow.
come back home. And now we're trying to get the kids in the habit. So we wake them up early too to do like a little kids workout from YouTube.
Okay.
Aw.
And they're liking
How old are
it.
they?
They're 6.
Both?
Mm-hmm.
They're twins.
Twins, yeah.
Aw,
Boys?
I want to
A
have
boy and a
twins.
girl. And
A boy and a girl.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
so cute.
So you guys are waking up at 4 in the morning.
What time do you wake them up then?
At 6 when we come back.
Okay.
Gives
When
them
do they go to
about
bed?
the time we go to bed. So we have them go between 8:30 and 9 o'clock
Okay.
to bed.
So you guys are going to bed around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you work out, I'm guessing, like take the kids to school, and then...
It's not like we want to know what time you go to bed.
No.
It's just that we're trying to, you know, share how
Yeah, no.
a business
Like the
goes.
life,
It's like, what time you go to bed, what time you wake up.
What time do you brush your
Wait.
teeth?
Yeah, I guess that was
I'm
my
more
point.
of the go with the flow type thing, and I know what I have to get done. My husband's more of the let me check that off and check this off.
Yeah.
Like
you
strict
know?
routine.
That's
Yeah,
how I
he
am.
is. And so I kind of go with his schedule. You know, we try to pack as we're like, okay, this from this time to this time, we're gonna do Oasis. You know,
Okay.
half the day, and then when we have to go into town to pick up the kids, we're like, okay, we're gonna work on Martin Fierro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have them in sports club too, twice a week. So I know twice a week I have a longer day to work more on the business.
Yeah, you guys have busy days. It sounds like really cool days too, because you know you're in different cities, somewhat, right? Ave Maria's a city.
Yeah.
It's a city, yeah.
Yeah, so you're in Ave Maria, one business there, and then you come into town, another business. So it's
And
great.
it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I forgot something at home. Let me come back.
Yeah.
Once you're
It'll
here,
work.
you're here.
It's
Right.
super interesting for us to know like how other business people move, because we've been in business for many years as well, and then we jump from one to the other and then to the other, and it's like it can get crazy if you don't know if you don't have like your mind where it needs to be or you know where you're going, you know. So that's why it's nice to know how other people move around.
Yeah.
Because it's just interesting for people.
What would you say? Would you say networking is a big part in a
It
business
is.
owner's life?
It is.
Especially for new business owners, I think that's a great thing. If you know it prior to getting into business, great. But I think that sometimes business owners get so locked into what they're doing that at least at the beginning years in their business, where you kind of miss out on the opportunities of just networking, you know? And sometimes networking, sure, you don't get paid, you know, with currency, but
eventually
opportunities.
People remember, oh, I met this person that does this, you know?
Right.
Networking is a big thing. My husband hates it because he's not one to talk to people like this. He would not.
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
He's always like, oh, they want to do an interview. You go.
So he doesn't like the he likes behind the scenes.
Yes.
Okay.
He's behind the scenes. So, you know.
Well, that's a good balance.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if both of you were like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, but networking is really good. The more people you know, the more
Better
you know.
opportunities.
Right.
You know.
Right. Do you have a question?
If anything, I would just be curious, like, what do you and your husband do for networking? Or, like, do you go to events in Naples, or do you ever create your own networking events?
So, I'll talk to anybody, you know, like in Ave, we have the brewery. So I'll just go and, you know, talk to whoever's around. Because if you don't open mouth means open business, you know. If nobody knows who you are or what you do, they're never gonna know.
Right.
100%. Yeah, and I like that because I've seen, you know, I can tell how people move, right? And exposing yourself is a big thing. Some people,
it's hard.
It's hard, but some people might think, oh, you know, just posting a lot or doing this, but you're really doing it because of business, right? And that's the whole purpose behind it. And when I see people doing it, I never see, oh, they're posting a lot or they're showing off a lot. In my mentality is, okay, they're selling something, and for me, it's great. It's just my mentality of how people, you know, like to move, and I see that you do it a lot, and I think it's great because it helps you connect with people, right? And we did it in past businesses. We do it now a lot, so that's great.
Do you feel like you guys have almost like a chip on your shoulder, like you have to like you have something to prove, you know? Like business, I feel like isn't competitive in a way, but and especially with family that immigrates here, I think even that almost adds on to like weight on the kids' shoulders. I think, I don't know, that's how I think that, not for everyone, but you know, you have like your family that immigrates here for a better life, and then you go into business. Do you think that that's something that drives the both of you, or is it, or what drives you guys to do what you do every day?
Right now, our kids,
Your
you
kids.
know, to give them a better life, give them something that they can bring up themselves. You know?
What about prior?
Prior, I think it was just to have a better life together.
Right.
You know.
Right. So okay, that's interesting. So prior to have a better life, and then now your kids. Okay.
Well, before we wrap up, I do have a question for you. You're in the restaurant business, so you're very exposed, right? For good and for bad. Right. How do you handle like reviews? How do you handle did you learn how to have a thick skin when it comes to that, or how do you approach that?
Well, I've always had pretty thick skin because my mentality has always been, if you don't pay my bills, I don't care what you say about me, you know. But in the restaurant business, you know, good reviews, bad reviews, you should always listen to what people have to say. We're lucky that we have close friends and even customers that when they don't like something, they'll tell us, and we take it as something good, you know. But like always, you can't please everybody, you know, in the restaurant business. And I tell that to my husband because he takes it more personally. I'm like, you can't, you know.
Yeah. And what do you think of Naples word of mouth?
I really don't follow it as much.
It's such a huge thing now, right?
It
in
is.
The food industry. I mean, the food business here in this area.
Yeah.
They gotta have so many active members. Every day there's like a post going out.
Sometimes it's more negative than positive.
Yeah. Which makes no sense, you know, because you would think that
you
it's
should
local.
support
Yeah.
your local restaurants to keep them here.
Right. Or give that feedback to the restaurant.
The restaurant, yeah.
Right. And I actually wanted to ask you because I thought I just forgot what I was going to say. But
that's one thing in Ave. The residents there will support you like no other because they want you there. They want you to stay. So even if they don't like something, they'll come up and they'll be like, listen, we don't like this or don't like that. We're telling you so you improve because we want you guys here. So it's good, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Seems like they're like very united.
Tight-knit.
Yeah. So that's great for business. And I mean, it's not like you can complain a lot too because people live very close to, right? Like you know where somebody is. Oh, that was you.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah, that's good. I mean, I think it helps businesses for sure. The positive feedback and negative, you know, you got to take it as you gotta know the game you're playing. I think.
Right.
So, but we asked anybody that comes here, and we ask them that question because everybody takes it different, you know. So it's just interesting to know.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you'd like to share or speak about?
Like the new business you're about to.
No, just anything in general, like that.
Or any upcoming events.
Events, you know, holidays are coming up, or just anything regarding business or anything that you would like to touch on.
One advice is pick people's brains. People that are successful, always pick their brains. That's one thing I love to do. Like if I know you know more than what I know, I'm like, hey, can I pick your brain on this? You know, don't be scared to ask. We were in the Ave Maria magazine, and one of our mottos is each one teach one. That's my husband's motto. Like anybody that asks us anything, we're willing to give them the information, you know, of how to do certain businesses or what needs to get done.
And I think that ultimately helps grow, right? That's that's one of the driving things to continue to scale as an individual or as a business, is to help others grow as well. And most of the times I think people that are at a certain point in business, or the higher it gets, you know, like the more successful they are in business, you would think that they don't want to share things, but it's almost the opposite when you start asking.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Do you guys have anything you guys want to talk about
before we go?
Yeah, anything?
I think we've covered.
Dang, and I had a great question. It left me.
We'll text it to you.
I had a great question.
Well, thank you so much for sharing
you.
your time. I know you're busy, but giving us your time is a big thing to us. And just before we end up, what do you think about this? Like giving you space, giving business owners a space to like share their ideas or their story.
I think it's great for, you know, other business owners and people that have that bug in their ear that they want to start something, but they're scared to take that risk. I say do it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Like Gonzalo mentioned, thank you for being part of this episode of Business Minds.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.